Have you ever just gone and like looked at our stuff?
Yeah.
And like listened to random things? Mm-hmm. We got a pretty good thing.
We do.
Going.
I think we have a groovy thing going on.
It'd be nice if somebody would listen.
It would be great if somebody paid attention to us.
Drink it in, brah. You ready to fly like a cheetah on a mattress?
Please don't call me bruh.
You got it, brah.
Okay, wait, maybe I like it.
Time now for Irritable Dad Syndrome. Refrigerate after opening. Put your hands together for your hosts, Mike and Darin.
Hi, I'm Darin.
I'm Regis.
Welcome to Irritable Dad Syndrome, Cincinnati's comedy podcast. This is episode 313. Mike's in a mood, and that guarantees this is going to be a great episode.
A word of warning
Yeah.
for all listening. This is a double episode night. Now, if you listen weekly, that's not going to mean anything to you. It's going to be like everything's normal. This will be the episode for this week.
That's
Another
right.
one will drop next week. But for y'all in Patreon, for the y'all watching us on the Twitches and the YouTubes live, you know as well as we do that anytime we double up on episodes, typically one is
Usually one is awesome,
right about par,
and one blows.
and then but the other one is like stellar, like insane.
Yeah,
it becomes like every clip becomes the next best of.
But the last time we recorded 2 episodes in a night,
They were both fire.
they were absolutely fire. And we've got a friend who listens to the show actually sent us a message, and I had mentioned to her, I'm like, we recorded 2 episodes in one night, and she's like, oh my god, I can't wait to listen to the next one.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to ride the wave, Mike.
Ride
the wave
Ride it.
of hilarity.
Yeah.
And so she could not wait to listen to the next week's episode.
Yeah.
So tonight we're recording 2 episodes. So 313, 314, they may both be bangers. One may suck. Who knows? You got to stay attention. You got to pay attention and listen all the way to the end.
Yeah. Again, if you're a Patreon member, then you can watch the whole sordid affair,
The whole kit and caboodle.
and see it all together. You get to see all the fun little scraps, like
right.
in between the episodes where we cry,
we
and we just like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And one of us will say X number. It's a good run. We can end it right here, and then we do the other episode.
We do that every week.
We cry. We cry
every
again.
Week.
And then say something inappropriate, and then we sign off.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing.
So, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
We got a message from a fan. The fax came in. Says, here, I got it right here in my hand. Dear Irritable Dad Syndrome, every Tuesday morning I play a game where I try to see how long it takes me to find the title of the episode. Fun. Keep up the good work, and can we please hear more names of graduates from the class of 2026?
Wait, were they trying to find the name?
The name of the show.
I don't understand.
So last week's episode was Never Lick a Horse.
Correct.
So our friend Courtney, who listens to the show, she will start it.
Listening for it to come up. Okay.
To hear it. Yeah. So she was like, I've got to find where they say never lick a horse. So she plays the episode. I think she starts a counter.
Yeah.
To see where. And so she texted me. She's like, 25, 26.
Oh, wow.
She had to. She listened to the entire episode and had to go back again because she didn't hear where we said never lick a horse. I think she was laughing so hard that it just went under the radar.
Well,
and then, Mike, she went back to the graduation part. She says, I want to hear the names of the students who graduated again. She had so much fun with that. So, Courtney, thank you very much. At the end of this episode, Mike and I, we will read some more names of graduates from the class of 2026. Thank you for your request, and thank you for listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
And I will say, now, this is a rumor, so I cannot confirm nor deny the veracity of the statement that I'm about to make.
If you heard it on the internet, it's true.
But from what I understand is that if you take the minute and second time signature for where the title appears for the first 100 episodes, and you line those up, they make GPS coordinates where we have hidden... He's laughing. He's trying to deflect.
$20 million.
Significant. Well, I don't give him. You don't want to, our attorney.
$20.
We've hidden a prize. Just go to those coordinates and dig.
Let me ask you something real quick offline.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to hide the prize?
Dave Lay.
I didn't. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dave hid the. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, we're back.
Fun fact: if you start listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome from the beginning, the very first voice that you hear is Dave Lay.
That's right.
He was the first one. His boot was the first on the ground.
That's right.
For the Irritable Dad Syndrome assault.
That is right.
Anyway, the second 100. It's a similar thing, and the prize doubled. So we keep doing this with every 100. So now that we're up in the 300s, the prize has reached 3 times prize level,
and it's insane.
Yeah,
and there are no losers on Irritable Dad Syndrome coordinate.
Again, really, the only way to find it is to listen to each episode through to the point where you hear the title.
That's right.
And then the rest of the episode, and then do that for every episode.
So good luck.
Yeah.
Keep
and you
listening.
can't rewind. If you missed writing it down, you've got to go back to the beginning and listen. This is going to get some ad revenue on this.
Oh, man. We are in. Oh, man. This podcast is finally going to take off.
I would like to point out something before you start with your.
I have a list of good things to talk about.
I have been going down memory lane lately. All right. And I passed by apartments that Bess and I and Andrew, when we first moved to the Westchesters, we lived in an apartment. We lived at the Preserve at Beckett Ridge, right? And it was on it. There's a ridge there, hence the name Beckett Ridge.
Henceforth.
And we walked our dog Molly all around the grounds there, and she tried to eat the goose poop and all the fun things. But that's when I really started listening in earnest to podcasts.
Yeah.
And I listened to some video game podcasts because I think many of our listeners know I'm a big dork.
You love the video games.
But I found some movie podcasts, and one in particular that I just adore. It's Film Junk. I'll give them a nice little plug.
That is a great podcast.
The best film podcast.
It's no Irritable Dad Syndrome, but it's a great podcast.
So I was mowing because we had the graduation party for Andrew. So I was told I had to mow the lawn, right?
Right.
So I go out there and I'm like,
God forbid people see that you have grass.
I'm going to listen to a podcast. And I fired up some Film Junk, and a few things hit me because I haven't really listened to them since we started this. It's been a number of years.
Yeah.
They're still going strong.
Okay.
Cracking me up.
Good for them.
And I enjoyed, I could hear their influence on this show, where we go off on tangents and talk about stuff, and it ends up being some of the funniest stuff. And then we have no real way to get back to the core of the show.
Right.
And we just kind of let it flounder.
Yeah. Like now.
Yeah. But I always thought that was annoying when we did that. I kind of enjoy it. And you do a good job at editing it to make it seem comical. I will say,
okay,
I would like to give you an award.
Okay.
I'd like to give you some, what's that called? The kids call them props.
Oh, yes.
Some people say kudos, but I don't talk to those kind of people.
I prefer props.
Props. You have become a master editor of this show.
Oh, well, thank you.
And the reason I say that, one of the reasons I say that is because I handle the video portion, right?
Yes.
And I do my own editing on the video. And I will hit parts that I know when we talked about them were hilarious. But then I have to wade through so much to get to the good part, right? And then you do that for the full hour every time. And the story about Jim finding the nudie mags in the wall at Mundy's.
Yes.
I've listened to the raw tapes multiple times because I made a video about it.
Yeah.
What you did to the audio portion of that, just amazing. Well, it sounds like we rehearsed it.
It's so much easier to edit the audio because when you cut down parts of the video has all these jump cuts in it.
Yeah, that's what the kids like these days.
Oh yeah, it's
That'll
all
get
that.
you clicks.
It's that MTV look.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but no, when you edit the audio down, you can't see that one sentence has 5 edits in it.
We seem
my God,
competent.
I have edited the bejesus out of a story before, and then I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, we sound like we're very eloquent speakers.
See,
but in reality, we are.
And I know there's people out there right now. Oh, I hate it when they talk inside baseball. Well, suck it up, Percy, because we're going to talk just a few more minutes.
Yeah, Percy.
When I've edited before, I have a problem in that I do enjoy the final product, but I can still hear all the weird stuff that led into it. And I never get the full extent. I can tell you that listening to that story, I bore witness to the fact, I think I had an embolism on the show. I could not... I swear I could not get out the name of the place, why it mattered, and where he found it. I mean, it's a good 5 minutes of me. I think it sounds like I fell on the floor and convulsed a bit before I got back up and tried to finish the story. But when you listen to the final product, it sounds just smooth as butter.
Well, you remember the first time we had Mike Chisholm on the show, right?
Yeah.
We had to start the show 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, I had to Frankenstein that together.
Well, part of it was he never knew when to shut the up.
He was just, that's like, hi, well, I'm Darin, and I'm Mike, and I'm Mike Chisholm. And
I was like, come on.
Mike, hang on, let me introduce you. And then anyway, he was begging me to release the show just as is, warts and all. And I was like, I don't do that.
Some shows are good like that. And I think Film Junk, I think they do release it warts and all. They'll have 2 and 3 hour shows. And you can tell, and I will say some of the funnier moments are when they have their problems, but they don't have problems like we have problems.
Right.
We have problems.
We've got problems.
Like we've got problems.
Yeah.
I expect some of the Twitch people every once in a while to just dial 911 and say those guys need help.
So much help.
I saw an interview with Penn Jillette. Penn and Regis Philbin had a show. Penn and Teller. Penn was on the Apprentice, Celebrity Apprentice.
That's right.
And he did an interview where he was talking about how the episodes, they would film the episodes for like 4 or 5 hours straight because Trump would just go on and on and on about whatever. And then they would just... He said that show was born out of the editing because they would get done filming it and he'd be like, what are you going to, I mean, what is this, like a 5-parter?
Yep.
And he would see the final product appear on TV. He was like, wow.
Wow. You know what I would love to see? Because I don't know if you've ever watched The Amazing Race.
No, I don't like fast things.
Oh, God.
Speed. I fear speed.
I love The Amazing Race, and it starts out with 11 teams, and they race around the world, and then it's down to 10, and then 9, and 8, and 7, and whatever. So the first episode is 11 teams, and the editors cut that show into 11 equal parts where each team gets almost the same amount of coverage, right? And then when that person gets booted off, then the next week it's 10, and each team gets like the same, like an equal amount of, I'm like, it's amazing. And so they have a camera person running with them, then they have overhead cameras, and then they have the cameras that are strapped onto their GoPros on their person. And there has got to be hundreds of hours of footage for each episode.
Yeah.
And so you see, after they've added in all the commercials and stuff, like 48 minutes of material, and then 900 hours of stuff that they don't use.
Yeah.
Kudos to the editors of The Amazing Race. You guys are awesome.
Well, and I know people are like, gee, Mike hasn't talked about U2 in about 3 hours. I know that when, you've heard a little movie called Rattle and Hum.
I have.
They filmed days and days and days of material. They have multiple complete concerts filmed in that movie quality film that are just somewhere in a vault. Yeah. And they've done the same thing for all of their tours since. And it's there. And U2 fans know that it's there. Yeah. And we know there's probably a plan to milk this tree, this Joshua tree, if you will, for decades after the last U2er breathes their final breath. And part of me is like, that's kind of cool. But another part of me is like, can you just...
can you let it go?
We're all getting a little long in the tooth ourselves.
So, I mean, that's what Peter Jackson did with that 40 or 50 hours of lost Beatles footage, and he put that stuff together. It was on Disney Plus. It was amazing. So, anywho,
you're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome. We put the drome in syndrome.
We got a show to do.
We are, yeah. And the first thing I want to talk about is a little group, not U2, a little group called Rush. And they are insane. They're all over the place because people they are shocked and amazed and thrilled that their new drummer, Annika, is crushing it. Yeah. And my whole thing is, did you really think that Alex and Getty were going to bring in someone who they didn't think could crush it? It's like people, did you really think that they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you guys?
When she was announced, I looked her up and I found some videos of her drumming. And I knew she was going to be successful because when I watched the videos of her drumming, I didn't even know what the beat was after a few minutes. And I'm like, that's what Neil did to me. I lose track of I don't even know what time signature he's in. He's in a different universe.
Yes.
I remember seeing him.
He was in his whole different world.
When I'm in a text thread with some other friends and we were talking about, that one of the complaints from the Rushites, which by the way, the Rush user groups are now aflame with all kinds of people talking, which for years it was like every once in a while somebody's like, Tom Sawyer's pretty good.
Yeah, I like Tom Sawyer. Yeah.
But now they're all over the place. And one of the complaints they're saying is that she's too robotic. And I'm like, excuse me.
I didn't say anything.
Neil Peart
yes.
was a magician of the drums.
A wizard.
Okay? A wizard, right? And I'll throw this personal story in. I went to see at Riverbend. I saw the Clockwork Angels tour. You were at the same show.
I was at the same show.
And I saw R40 in Columbus. And I saw that man in the middle of a drum solo. If you remember, his drum kit looked like he had all the control. He had more controls and drums in front of him than the Death Star.
Yes.
I mean, he's just like, that's a main part of their stage is his kit. And in the middle, whilst doing a drum solo, the man stood up and switched positions so he would face the eastern part of his kit and kept the beat while doing it. And I remember looking at the dad next to me because that's all that's at Rush shows. There's a bunch of dads. They're all 50 plus. They looked at each other and we just silently said, what did we just witness?
I know.
And even that man has said, if you watch the documentary Beyond the Lighted Stage,
it's a great documentary. He
pointed out that he felt that he was too robotic in his playing, that he was too technical, and he went to a drum instructor, what was it, like a different type, like a jazz drummer,
kind of
something.
Oh, he could play jazz.
Who taught him how to put feeling in with it, but also keep the technical piece. And you can hear that. Someone
totally went and relearned how to play drums.
It would be like, God forbid, something happens to Bono, right? And they replace him after a few years, and somebody says, the new guy's a little too political. Like, what are you?
Right.
Then they did a good job. Right. They did a good replacement.
Man, I heard somebody say that Annika, her toms aren't tuned right, and she's using thicker cymbals.
She's tuned more toms than you've heard of.
God, man, it's like the girl, the woman, the lady, she can't win with these Rush purist moron fans, because if she goes in and plays beat per beat exactly like Neil did, then they go, all she's doing is just copying Neil. But if she adds her own flair, well, how dare she disrespect the memory of Neil and the music that he... It's just like... Either way, they're going to be pissed. Look, you don't have to buy a ticket. You don't have to watch the videos, and you certainly don't have to listen to them. But I cannot wait until August when we go see them in the Detroits.
The videos that I've seen, she's doing an excellent job. Yeah. And I saw... Primus did a tour, Farewell to Kings, where they played the Farewell to Kings album in its entirety. And this sounds dorky, but it's true. And I'm sure other Rush fans who saw that show, you could hear everyone's listening for the drums, right?
Yeah.
All three of the guys were masters of their instrument. If you focus, just take any Rush song, focus on the guitar or focus on the bass, it'll blow your mind.
Yes.
But everybody talks about Neil, but the other guys are masters of their own craft.
Geddy Lee is the best bass player I've ever seen.
But I will say that throughout the performance that Primus did, they did an excellent job. But every once in a while, I would hear, "Oh, that's an added drum beat," or "That's different." And I feel like I'm even saying that. And I know that somebody listened to that saying, well, how could you even hear? You could hear. Neil was so good that a lot of the times he kind of slid into the background and you didn't realize how good he was until you hear something different coming out the speakers. Yeah. I got one more thing to say about this. Okay. There's a viral video going around of Annika nailing the fill in Tom Sawyer.
Yep.
And that video gives me chills.
The smile on her face.
Well, it gives me chills because Moving Pictures that song is from was released in 1981.
Yeah.
And Neil has said in interviews that that's one of his favorite songs to play because it's so difficult. And he said the fill specifically is difficult. And every time he does it, or every time he did it, he felt like he had accomplished something.
Yes.
He got a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I watched, I've seen enough Rush concerts. Every time he would do the fill, Alex Lifeson would walk over and watch, like face him, be like right at the kit.
Yeah.
It was like an act of support.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there would always be an interaction between Neil and Alex when he did that. They did that. They played that song like that 30 plus years live.
Yeah.
And if you watch the viral video of Annika doing the fill, Alex walks over and does the exact same thing. And it blew my mind because I'm thinking, this dude has done this, for, like I said, for 30 plus years with his bro back there playing.
Yep.
And what was that like for him to turn around and do that? And it's a completely different person there.
I know. I cannot wait.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to be a sobbing mess.
Oh, good God.
I'm just going to be, because they're showing tribute videos
Oh,
throughout the show.
Yeah.
But she has a pair of his drumsticks on the stage. Oh. That is, I mean, that's love, man. That is love.
And they've kept the South Park intro for Tom Sawyer, which is song about a black guy on a raft. It's like, okay.
Shut up, fat ass. That's not how the song goes. It is too. I read the book. I wonder if they pay Trey Parker and Matt Stone to use that, or if they're you stole it from us and we're stealing it back.
I'm sure they both sides love it.
That's not how it goes.
I'm getting Lee. I say how it goes.
1, 2, 3, and a 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. And so, yes, I can't wait to see it. And it's going to be great.
Those guys, they are hilarious.
The black guy.
Where I'm going to get misty eyed is they've always, I've only seen them twice. But
I only saw them once.
They have so much fun on stage. If you watch Alex Lifeson, he is constantly making faces and doing goofy shit at the people in the front. And Getty does the same thing, but he's more laughing along at what Alex doing. And then Neil's just back there just doing his job, right?
Yeah.
And they love being on stage and doing what they do.
Yeah. How old is Getty Lee?
I think they've got to be in.
Because he looks like he's 40. He is up there, and I've never seen anybody play bass like him. And anyway, I can't wait.
Coming up on the next episode of Irritable Dad Syndrome.
I just signed up for AARP.
Oh.
And where has it been all my life?
Oh, I know, right?
There's like all kinds of cool in there. BW3s?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, I don't like that because BW3s, I'm pretty sure when you get to a certain age, that's probably the first thing your doctor says you can't have.
You can't eat anything.
And they give you the most rewards. You get like a $25 gift certificate of BW3s just for opening the app. It's like, what the hell?
Even the water there has cholesterol.
None of it's healthy. Yeah. It's like, here's some Dairy Queen BW3s. Here's a Tuggy from Rhonda down the street. Just everything that you can't have.
Go to Mike's Meth Shack.
That's right, Mike's Meth Shack.
Plus, how to barbecue on a budget on the next Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Speaking of great drummers, Mike, I had a percussion gig last Friday night. I was home, and I got a text around 3:00 in the afternoon from my good friend Greg Bodis. He is a patron and a fan of this podcast. I get this text. It says there is a band in Springboro. They're looking for a cajon player. I don't know if
I play the cajones.
A cajon.
I got a pair of cajones big as a.
I know you do. I've seen the video. This band,
put a little coconut oil on them puppies and
let it ride.
Let it ride.
They needed a cajon player. That's an acoustic act. It's 2 guitarists and they all and a woman, and they all sing right. And they were doing this gig. And they decided for this particular gig, they were going to expand upon the band. They were bringing in a guest bass player, and they were going to bring in a percussionist. Now, they do this from time to time, but the percussionist that they use was not was not feeling good at all. So I got the text, and I said, yeah, okay. And I reached out to the band, and I said, if you still haven't found somebody, I'm interested in doing it. And the guy calls me, and he says, yeah, that'd be fantastic. And didn't ask how long I'd played, didn't ask Really anything. He just told me where the thing was, and I told him, I said, I have a cajon, and he says, do you have like an adaptation where you can plug it into an amp? I said, no. And he says, do you want to just use mine? And I said, sure. So he's got an amp, and he's got a cajon, he's got the chords and everything that goes to it. So all I had to do, Mike, was show up. The name of the band is Velvet Crush, and my God, some of the coolest, nicest, most awesome, fun people. I had the night of my life. I was nervous, and I didn't eat anything before the show. And that's what I do when I have a stand-up comedy gig. I don't eat, I don't drink anything. I do my thing, and then I will eat like 4 hamburgers and dip my face into the trough like a horse.
Yeah.
In the desert. So I get to the gig, and I said, I can meet you there early if you guys want to rehearse a little bit. And he says, that'll be great. So I show up to the place, I meet the guy, and he says, well, here's the cajon. And I said, cool. And I sat down and played on it for like a second. And he's like, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, okay. And I said, do you have a set list? No, we haven't knocked that out yet. And I said, okay, do you know what song we're opening up with? He goes, I haven't really decided that either.
There you go.
And he says, we just kind of go with the flow. And I said, okay. And he says, with us, less is more. We just want you to keep the beat. I play rhythmic guitar. So we just really want you to just hang back and keep the beat. And I said, okay. I don't remember.
So they were very specific on what they wanted.
So specific on what they wanted. They said, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what our first song was. I wish I did. But we did our first song, and he leans back and he says, Southern Cross. We're going to do Southern Cross.
Okay.
And I said, I've heard Southern Cross. So I'm playing the cajon. It's a box, and if you hit it in the middle, it makes a deep sound. And if you hit it toward the top, it makes like a snare sound, a higher pitched snare sound. And so we played that song, and the crowd enjoyed it and claps. And he says, hi, everybody. We're Velvet Crush, and I want to mention that we have Darin with us. Darin got a call 2 hours ago. Said, wondering if he could do this gig. He's never met us before. Yeah. He's never played music with us before. And there was the look on this woman's face in the front row, like, what? Like, oh my God, how? She thought like a magician came in.
Oh yeah, the Darin Cox.
The Darin Cox, right? And so, like 2 or 3 times throughout the night, he says, out of context, again, we've never played music with Darin. So,
were you concerned at all that J.K. Simmons was going to come out and slap you across the face and ask you if he was leading or dragging?
Not my tempo. Not at all. Not at all. These guys, they could not have been nicer or cooler, or it was so much fun, and I had a blast. And I told him, I said, you guys ever need me again, come on. So it was I hadn't had a drum gig in a long time. I really haven't. I think the last time I had a gig playing drums is when there was a comedy club in Kentucky. It used to be a church. They converted it to a comedy club, and they needed a drummer to play music when the comics walked on stage. So I'd play like 5 seconds and all right, let's give it up for Toby. All right.
Do the Hot for Teacher intro.
They're like, that would be awesome if they introduced a comic and I did the entire Hot for Teacher. Darin. Yeah. Yeah. So it was fun. It was so much fun. I had a blast.
This portion of our show is brought to you by the Taco Bar Calculator. Hi, I'm Dave Lay, and I love tacos. And I also love to throw taco parties. I don't mean to brag, but the little wife and I have quite a few friends, and we used to have a problem figuring out how many ingredients to buy when throwing a taco party. That was until we discovered the Taco Bar Calculator. Let me tell you how this works. All you gotta do is type in how many people are coming to the party, and the Taco Bar Calculator does the work for you. It tells you how many pounds of meat, how many heads of lettuce, how many jars of salsa, how many boxes of taco shells, how many bags of cheese, how many ounces of sour cream. I think you get the idea. The Taco Bar Calculator, available on the internet. Just go to Google, Yahoo, or Bing and type in Taco Bar Calculator. Now, back to the show.
I had a birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. My birthday is on June 10. Dave Lay's birthday is on June 9. When we used to work together, they would always take us both out to lunch at the same time, and it was great. And
It's a way to save money.
That's right. We had one party for 2 people.
Yeah.
But so I had my birthday. I took the day off, and I read a book. I finished a book.
Whoa.
Honest to God, I finished a book. It was a great day. I went to this record store in Hamilton, Ohio. I was trying to find a wooden crate to put my albums in because I don't want to order one and assemble one. I'm lazy. I'm trying to find one that's already just assembled. But I'm walking around this vinyl store that's got the coolest. My God, they got these lunch boxes and they got cassettes and CDs and
Lunch boxes.
They've got like Kiss lunch boxes and cartoon lunch boxes, and they got a lot of cool stuff in there. Toys and hats and T-shirts, and I hate the place because I can stay in there all day. But I'm walking over and I see they've got this selection of new albums, and I'm looking and it says Record Store Day. And I'm like, well, today's not Record Store Day. I thought Record Store Day stuff was only sold on Record Store Day.
Oh, no. If they have stuff left over, they'll sell it whenever.
Well, that's what I found out.
Yeah.
And last week you were talking about one of our favorite bands, Collective Soul. And why are they not more popular?
My question is, what the hell?
I went down a rabbit hole and I started looking up some facts and stuff about Collective Soul. And I found out that they have an album that I don't have.
Okay.
And I have all their albums. I have them all on CD.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how come I can't find this one? It's because it was only sold on Record Store Day. And it raised the question, like, I wonder why they do that. Like, what's the incentive of going through the effort and putting together what is a really good album when so very few people are going to enjoy it?
It's more about supporting Record Store Day and supporting record stores than anything else. Yeah, they're really not getting anything out of it.
So they're throwing record stores a bone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure they may get some sort of kickback, but I think most musicians get something out of it. A lot of, like, The Who and Stones, they'll throw out, like, a live single.
Yeah.
You know?
Anyway, so I'm going through the Record Store Day stuff, and I find the Collective Soul album that was available only exclusively on Record Store Day, and I bought that son of a bitch. I got it. And I'm going to tell you something, Mike.
What's it called?
It is called...
Oh,
I wasn't prepared for that.
Didn't prepare for that one.
The album is pink.
Okay.
Well, no, the album is blue, and it's 180 gram vinyl.
Okay.
I'll have to.
It's blue. The actual record is blue, or the
record is blue.
Whoa.
The album is called Touch and Go.
Oh.
Collective Soul, Touch and Go.
Okay.
And it's a good one. I've only listened to the first half.
Okay.
But it's 180 grain vinyl, which means it's really thick. It's like thick with 2 C's. And it comes with a poster. And
wow.
It's super cool.
Okay.
And I looked at their set list from when they were at Strawberry Days. They didn't play anything off of Touch and Go. Which, why would you play something off your album that nobody can get?
Did they have more copies than just the one that you
They had
want?
the one. They had the one. Or I would have grabbed it.
Everybody's in Plaid Room. I might get lucky there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you something. I'm serious. I feel better than a lot of people.
Yeah, because you have that album?
Because I have an exclusive album that you don't.
Well, that's how I feel about my little Funkos up there. I got a little Bono. I got a little plastic Bono up there. And yeah.
The only other thing that I've ever gotten that was on Record Store Day was Southern Culture on the Skids released a 45 with they did a duet with Fred Schneider of the B-52s.
Okay.
And I found that at a record store after Record Store Day. I guess it didn't sell out. Can't imagine that. But yeah, good times.
Hey, this is Rick from Southern Culture on the Skids, and you are listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Let's keep talking about music, Mike.
Okay.
Do you remember the artist Meatloaf?
I do.
Okay, the guy who wrote many of the songs for Meatloaf, his name is Jim Steinman. Okay, and Jim Steinman passed away a couple years ago. Okay, he passed away. I can't remember if he died before Meatloaf or after Meatloaf, but he's dead. Okay. Yeah. He is currently spinning in his grave because there was this commercial. There's a product, a bug spray called Vivo, and they took I Need a Hero and changed the lyrics to I Need Some Vivo.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Wow.
and the woman is holding this can up in the air. I need a Vivo. And they're spraying and killing bugs. And I stood up and I said, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
And Libby and the boys are like, what's the matter with Dad? Is he okay?
Well,
Is
yeah.
he okay? It's like, why would they do that? Why would they do that? And why would Jim Steinman's people allow that to happen? It's a smack in the face. He wrote Bat Out of Hell. He wrote Making Love Out of Nothing at All for Air Supply. He wrote I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. He wrote Total Eclipse of the Heart. He wrote some of the greatest songs, rock operas ever recorded, and now he's on a bug commercial.
Family update. Charlie is successfully negotiated getting a scooter, electric scooter. He just doesn't know the art of stopping talking when he gets what he wants. So he gave us exact specifications and a mile per hour that Mom accepted, Bess accepted, and I accepted.
I witnessed.
And then he's like, he waited a couple days. Well, this is earlier. He waited a couple days, and then he upped that by 3 miles per hour. And then he did another 3. I'm like, dude, you can't. I mean, at this point. Plus, I've been going through a lot the past week.
Yes.
And that's when all this was happening. And he finally upped it for the last point, but then he changed other specifications. And I'm like, dude, look, you're at a point where you have got a yes. You need to stop talking. There's a point where further negotiation will get you kicked out of the dealership and or the police called on you. So this is where you need to cease.
A few weeks ago when my brother-in-law Eddie and his wife Gina and our nephew Ryan, they all came to visit us, and Ryan was he's a young kid.
He's the one that threw Jesus in the house?
He threw Jesus in the house.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't throw Jesus in the house.
That's right.
They're like, we're going to take Ryan out so he can run off some of this energy. And I said, well, yeah, there's 2 playgrounds in our neighborhood, and one of them has been brand new, recently refurbished. And so like, okay, so we went to this playground that my kids used to play at 2-3 times a week when they were little. And so we were all up at the playground, and Ryan brought his little cars. All Ryan wanted to do was roll his cars down one of these really big twisty slides. Yeah. Which, whatever, it's
that's
fun.
What you do with cars.
Yeah, that's what
why
you do
get
with
them.
cars.
Yeah.
And so he's got these 4 Hot Wheels cars, and then he would predict which one is going to win the race, and he would push them all down the slide. And we're having fun with this because it's hot and we're outside, and nobody really wants to chase anybody around, so we were playing with the cars and the slide. Well, this little boy comes up, and not only does he want to play with Ryan's cars, he wants to keep Ryan's cars. So this little boy would grab a car and want to walk off with it, and the mother, kudos to the mom, props to the mom, which she would say, Timmy Wayne, put the car back.
Timmy Wayne.
Timmy Wayne. The boy's name is Timmy Wayne.
Okay.
And I never heard her once
Timmy Wayne Brandy Book.
I never once heard her call him Tim or just Timmy, but it's Timmy Wayne.
Yeah.
And it was, hey, Timmy Wayne, let's go over and go on the swings. Or Timmy Wayne, do you want to go get a drink of water? Or Timmy Wayne, how about we go over on the seesaw? No, it was Timmy Wayne, Timmy Wayne. Yeah. And so Ryan is trying to play with the cars, and Timmy Wayne won't stop trying to take one of the cars. Now, Timmy Wayne is a little kid, right? Of course, these are cool cars. And but for weeks after this, Libby and I are calling our kids, Timmy Wayne, put down the chocolate milk. Timmy Wayne, did you get your brother a cookie? Timmy Wayne, don't do that, right? Story goes nowhere. But I love it.
Yeah. You would be on the blows side of the LP. We'll switch over to the B-sides with our next episode.
That's right.
You're listening to Irritable Dad Syndrome. Mike and Darin in the morning. Classic rock all day.
Have you seen He-Man?
I did not see He-Man.
It's supposed to be really, really good. It's one of these fun ones where the critics it's still got a fresh rating, but it's like at 63 or 64. Like
I heard that
at the very lowest end, but the audience score is damn near perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, and people
so the critics hate it, but the audience loves it.
Yeah, it's being described as a dumb movie.
Okay.
But the actors know it's dumb, and they're leaning into it. You know, it's like everybody's in on the joke.
Honest to God, that's almost word for word how my friend Todd described it.
Yeah. And that I tend to
and
like
that's
that
why
kind of
that's
movie.
why he loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved it.
Yeah.
So, but no, I have not seen He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. A couple weeks ago, when our kids, your son Andrew and my son Cameron graduated high school, Andrew had a graduation party here in your backyard.
At the estate,
At the estate, at the Odell Ranch.
Yes.
And so we are out in your backyard, and we are talking to our friends Ann and Dave.
And the grass was very well mowed.
Perfectly mowed, yes, yes. So Ann and Dave were there, and Jim Boyce was there, and I'm there, and Cameron was there, and then Libby was there. And somehow a topic of sheep comes up, and I don't remember how. But I'm talking
As
to...
it does.
It does. Every now and then people talk about sheep. So, God, this is a horrible episode. Stay tuned to the end. Mike and I are going to read more names of graduates from the class of 26. Don't go anywhere.
The kicker...
Don't go anywhere.
The kicker of this is we're talking about sheep.
So,
all right.
But no. So I'm telling Ann and Dave... the story of my friend who has a farm, and she's got like some cows and horses, and these sheep came on her land, right? One day they just showed up, and none of her neighbors had these sheep, and she couldn't figure out where these sheep came from, and she didn't know what to do with the sheep. And so I said, I got a guy. So I reached out to my friend who has some sheep, and he has some horses, and I called him up, and I'm telling Ann this story when Libby looks at me and she says, Jim? And I said, what? And she says, Jim. And she keeps saying Jim like why am I not understanding? Jim?
Yeah.
And I said, why do you keep saying Jim? The guy's name is Bill. And it got a little tense. Because I'm like, his name isn't Jim, it's Bill.
Yeah.
And now, not only are we calling the kids Timmy Wayne, but Jacob and Cameron won't stop calling Libby Jim.
Okay.
Jim.
Yeah, right.
Jim. And she's like, okay, I had the wrong name. And I said, you know that's going on the podcast, right? And so she's like, okay, fine. Jim?
Yeah. Right now, I feel like Henry Winkler with a leather jacket, water skiing towards a ramp,
getting ready to jump
with
over
a
the
fin
shark.
going right in betwixt.
You know what? They've talked about that on Happy Days, and Henry Winkler is happy to talk about that episode. He said that was the number one episode that week, and Happy Days was the number one show until it went off the air.
Yeah.
And everyone talks about he jumped the shark, and that's where the show got ruined. But the show was number one.
Yeah.
So he doesn't understand why jumping the shark, why that episode is the analogy of a show going bad.
This portion of Irritable Dad Syndrome is brought to you by Dave Lay Heating and Cooling. Hi, I'm Dave Lay. You might remember a couple of years ago I opened up my own heating and cooling company. You see, the podcast money wasn't rolling in. Truth be told, it still ain't rolling in. Well, my heating and cooling company isn't doing crazy business either. My wife says it's because I don't advertise. She also says that sometimes I start projects and don't follow through with them. And I said, hey, if you know so damn much about running a heating and cooling company, why don't you open one? I think I'm getting off track. Anyway, at Dave Lay Heating and Cooling, we know when a house is too hot and when a house is too cold, and somebody needs to do something about it. Call today for a free estimate. Please, old Dave needs the money. Now, back to the show.
Bess and Charlie have started watching Lost.
Oh, I love Lost.
I did too.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to remember some of the frustrations as I'm listening to them watch it. Mm-hmm. One of my frustrations with Lost, I had two main frustrations. One is right when a storyline was getting really intense, they would switch to a different one that no one gave two shits about.
Yes.
But then
Like
they
the,
would
like the two actors,
Yeah.
the dude and the girl who were on that 21 Jump Street show.
And then they would stick with that, and then that would start to get good, and it would be right at a cliffhanger, and then they would switch to another two that you don't give anything about. And so I'm not even watching it with them. I just listening to it, and I feel a groan of disappointment every time that happens. And the other is, and I'm sorry for any Walt and his dad fans, but every time the dad and his son Walt are in a scene, it's Walt, Dad, Walt, Dad, Walt, Dad.
Is
Walt? He's a little kid with the dog and his dad.
Is he the one who disappeared?
Yeah.
And then shows up like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
But it would switch over to him at like the end of the episode. I'm like, well, the first 15 minutes of the next episode is going to be Walt, Dad, Walt, Dad. And then there was a scene with them where they found each other, and then Walt's sliding off of a thing, and his dad's trying to, I don't know his name, I just know him as Dad. His dad's trying to hold his hand.
Is it Jim?
I don't know.
Jim?
No, Jim. It's
Jim.
and they're still screaming at each other, Dad, Walt, Dad. It's like, it had to have been an inside joke with the script writers. That's a J.J. Abrams joint.
Yes.
That had to have been an inside joke. Every time the scene shifts to Walt and Dad, it's just Walt, Dad, Walt, Dad, Walt, Dad, Walt, Dad for 10 minutes.
So I know it's a TV show. Don't send me an email because it's like, okay, not everything is really possible. But there's this great video on YouTube, 10 minutes of, what about this? How come this happened? Why wouldn't they be able to do this? How come we weren't able to do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, there were so many unanswered questions about Lost. But I remember watching season 1 because my buddy Greg Hauser told me, I told him, hey, Libby and I are watching Lost. He goes, oh, it's a great show. I'm like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. I don't know where this whole, it doesn't make any sense and I don't understand any of it. And he says, oh, wait till you get into season 2. And I said, okay, and damn if he wasn't right.
Yeah.
Season 1 made all the sense in the world. Season 2,
Hey, what happened?
huh? What?
I would say the best part of Lost wasn't even on Lost. It was on The Office when they were going to the warehouse and Dwight turns the camera and said, remember in Lost when they went to meet the others? And they just go down to the warehouse. Well, the best part of it.
Well, one of my favorite parts was when Conan O'Brien was hosting the Emmy Awards, and he did the video open, and he winds up on the beach, and he's climbing up there, and he sees Hurley. He says, "Hey, can you tell me how to get to the Emmy Awards?" And Hurley says, "Oh man, we weren't even invited to that this year. I don't know what to tell you." But one of the most ridiculous things that ever happened in Lost was a guy had drowned and they pulled him out of the water and they were on a raft in the middle of the ocean and they were doing CPR on a guy on a raft.
Yeah.
And Libby was like, Libby's a nurse.
Yeah.
She's CPR trained, folks. And she said, you can't do that. You just can't do that.
It's funny how anytime there's a movie or a show, you'll pick up on one thing that's impossible. Because I remember Return of the Jedi always bothered me because there was, I would say, well, Luke's lightsaber isn't really hitting all these things.
No.
And it bothered me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And then it bothered me even more when the special editions came out. The special editions came out, and I was like, Lucas could totally put something there to show that he's hitting.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
No, he didn't. I wanted to mention last week's episode. If you enjoyed that, there may be a special reason why you enjoyed that. That episode was edited at Chris Michael's house.
Oh.
Why did I edit it at Chris Michael's house? Well, because they sometimes, occasionally, will go out of town or they'll go visit relatives or they won't be home. And I have a key to their house. And they let me come over and I let out their dog Sadie. So there was one particular night where Jacob was at work, Cameron was at work, Libby was out drinking or something. I don't know what she was doing.
Yeah.
I had the house to myself.
Yeah.
And I was going to edit the podcast. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go over to Chris's house and I'm going to edit the podcast over there. So I go over there with the laptop and I'm sitting at the table and their dog Sadie is like, what's going on? What are you doing? Because
Yeah.
usually I let her out. I give her food and water, and I scratch her ears, and I say, she's a big sweetie, and she's a good girl. And I scratch her tummy, and she goes, potty pot. And then I let her back in, and I kiss her on the head, and I say, good girl, and then I go. Now she's like, you're not going.
Yeah.
You're staying here. And she sat next to me and looked at the front door the whole 3 hours that I was there, like she was guarding the door. She was going to kill if anybody came and tried to attack me, right?
Yeah.
So it was pretty sweet. And anyway, so I edited the episode at his house, and I went home and saw the family and everything. Well, they usually leave the lights on, okay, for Sadie if she's going to be there by herself. I came over the next day, all the lights were off. I didn't turn off the lights. Now, a normal person would think maybe they turned them off with the timer. Because, as you know, Chris...
He's got everything wired.
His mailbox is rigged. If you open up his sock drawer, it says, someone's pulling out your black socks.
See, if I were watching his house for him, I'd teach him a lesson. I'd walk around pantsless the entire time.
Oh, I did.
Because you know he's got cameras everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You know, let's burn the retinas out on those things.
Exactly. Your cojones. So, when I went back over there, I got nervous. I'm like, is there a squatter over here? I thought the mind was playing tricks on me. Somebody could have come in through the garage and just ran upstairs while I was letting Sadie out in the backyard. And so stupid, dumbass me, I had to go check to see if there was a breaker. I couldn't find the breaker box in the house. And then I poked around a little bit upstairs. And so if that alarm triggered, that's why I did that, to make sure ain't nobody sleeping in his house.
Yeah.
But I should have just texted him to begin. I'm like, did you guys turn off the lights? And about 10 minutes later, yeah, we did that. I'm like, okay, thanks for letting me know. I thought you had freaking circus.
Coming over with a golf club and a butcher knife ready to attack whatever comes out of the shadows.
Like when Rick slept in that house on that episode of The Walking Dead. I thought maybe that goes nowhere. Jesus God. One more story about Chris Michael, and then we're going to read graduation names.
Oh, sure.
2026. This is so horrible. The next episode, 314, is going to be so much better.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was at Costco, and we've got a party coming up, and we're going to serve taco bowls at the party. It's a graduation party. Yeah. And so I thought I'd buy some supplies, and I bought some napkins, about 8 million napkins in a box, and we're going to use all the napkins, but I bought some plastic spoons, and you can only buy plastic spoons in a box of 500. And Libby's like, why did you buy all the spoons? I said, for the party. And she says, Darin, we're going to need like 30, maybe. I said, but they don't spoil.
That's true.
The spoons will never go bad.
That's right.
And we'll always have them. Where are we going to keep them all? Well, we'll keep them in the garage. We'll keep them under the bed. We'll keep them. I'll find a place. I'll move some stuff around. We'll sell one of Jacob's old bicycles, and we'll put the spoons there. She was going to return them. And I said, Libby, do not return the spoons. She says, why? I said, because I have more spoons than Chris Michael. And by God, we're keeping the spoons. I put my foot down.
If you're listening to this show currently, first of all, thank you for making it this far.
Thank you.
And second, if you're thinking, my God, I'm at the end of the episode and I'm listening to these two jackasses talk about spoons.
Spoons.
If you join our Patreon, you have immediate access to the next episode, which is a banger.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, well, we have totally proven the next episode can only be better
We
than
get
this.
the let out, as the kids say. Hey, when we promise an episode a week, this is what you get. They're not all winners.
That's right. It's just like our kids. You can't. They're not all winners at all. We're going to go for this episode.
We went about 20 minutes ago. We went.
We want you to check us out on Facebook and click and like and tell all your friends to check us out on Facebook, and go to irritabledadsyndrome.com.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to become a patron, that would be amazing. And if you helped us out financially, maybe we would learn how to do a better episode.
Yeah.
Maybe 315 and 316 will be better than this one. We hope to see you next week on Irritable Dad Syndrome.
Irritable Dad Syndrome is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Mike. Hey, if you have whatever.
Okay.
I'm gonna let all the people know that we're live,
Okay.
like they care. I'm gonna.
What time did your show start?
Okay.
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I want to sex you up. Come on.
I need to buy a helmet. For the kids at home, a percussionist is a drummer that can read. That wasn't funny at all.
And this is all inside baseball, and I'm probably going to cut all this out.
It just got awkward. Dude made this the topic of the whole show, and he doesn't even know.
Well, what topics did you bring to the show, Mike?
Andrew Jackson Gibbons. I've legally requested Darin cut that out.
So here are some more names of graduates from the class of 2026. Cindy Allison Crawford.
James Tiberius Kirk.
Joan Christine Jett.
William Robert Thornton.
Lemmy Harrison Kilmeister.
Cher.
Margaret Ann Penelope Henderson.
Dirk Philip Diggler Jr.
Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Juice Marie Newton.
Oswald Martin Osborne.
Octavia Dorothy Spencer.
Timmy Wayne Smitherton.
Bono.
Recording stopped.